anyone explain to me how I have 2 degrees? I have 2 degrees. Oh, and a certificate. A little extra, right? I have a certificate. May not be a master's, but it's something extra along with the 2 degrees, you know? I'm trying to apply for jobs right now, and the thing is that the only person I have responding to me is a man from a tech company saying, "Hey, you want to answer some customer service problems? You want to answer some customer service calls?" No, Bart, I don't want to answer your calls. No offense, but I'm a little more qualified than to be sitting around answering your customer service calls, Bart. Okay, I'm sorry, but Bart is the only one who's responding to me. So what am I supposed to do? And I'm looking down at these and I'm looking at them and I'm kind of wondering. I'm like, what was this for again? Oh, I don't know.
Can someone explain to me how I have 4 degrees and still can't get a job? BA in communication, BA in Spanish, BFA in dance. Get ready for this one. Master's degree in freaking journalism. Mind you, I've gotten laid off not once, not twice, but 3 times in the span of 2 years. So if you're feeling behind, just know you're not alone. Basically, we're all cooked.
It's crazy to think that when I dropped out, motherfuckers were telling me like I was crazy, I was stupid, Yo, those same motherfuckers who doubted me graduated, and they're literally like asking me like, yo, what should I do? My degree doesn't do anything. And it's like, dude, first of all, I'm sorry that AI cooked you. But it's also like, bro, like, Liddy, what the fuck are you gonna do with a degree? Like I actually don't even know what job you can get. Like, it's either you run a business or you're high up at a business or you're just fucking broke, to be honest. Because everything else, like firefighter, police officer, like whatever decent job doesn't require a degree. Yeah, medical professional, sure, but you guys aren't doctors. Lawyers are useless. Like a fucking, I don't know, like a fucking physio, like, okay, yeah, you're just rubbing my butt, I don't even know what job you could get with a degree.
Some graduate degrees could actually lose you money. If you're thinking about grad school, this might surprise you. A new study shows some of the most popular graduate degrees in the U.S. don't always pay off financially. In fact, fields like social work, education, and psychology can mean taking on serious debt with lower long-term earnings. So why is that? Well, tuition costs are rising, you're out of the workforce longer, and salaries don't always catch up. But not all degrees are the same, because careers in medicine, law, and pharmacy still tend to deliver strong financial returns over time. So the bottom line here is grad school isn't a guaranteed payoff. Experts say before you commit, make sure the numbers actually work for you. Download Fox Local for live streaming, news, and more.
If you ever feel like your degree was useless, just know that I spent three and a half years in nursing school, obtained a bachelor's of science in nursing, proceeded to graduate, and then never used it. I took all the steps, passed the NCLEX, passed the test, walked the stage, never again looked at that degree, never again even tried. I knew I hated it from the second semester. I don't even know why I went there in the first place.
Probably around 75% of college degrees nowadays are useless. I think more students should be looking into trades. I think we have a shortage in America in many trades. I just deal with clients coming in and stuff all the time. We see lots of people that went into trades at a really young age where their friends went into college, went into debt going into college, maybe can't even find a job coming out of college, where now they are 25 years old. They've been in trades as an apprentice and now maybe they've run their own business. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're making more than some of our doctor clients that went to 8 or 10 years of school in a trade.
College is a scam. People are just...
Going to college is useless for the vast majority of people in the modern world. Unless your dream is to be a doctor or a lawyer or another career where you need to go to college, for the other 99% of jobs out there, you don't need a degree, which makes about 99% of degrees absolutely useless. If you really break it down, for most jobs, you're pretty much just doing the same tasks over and over and over again for like 40 years. And all these tasks can easily be taught to any teenager. And even if the teenager doesn't understand like the intricacies of the work that they're doing, they can learn the physical actions that are required of them, probably in like 30 days or less. So unless you're super passionate and jumping out of bed every morning to go learn how to be a neurosurgeon, then there's honestly no point in going to university. Just like most people, I went to college because my parents told me to, and I knew that it was normal and it was like a safety net to get a job. I went in wanting to be a dentist, which obviously didn't work out. Then I switched majors like 3-4 times, ended up doing marketing, which is what I do today. But that marketing degree has gotten me 0 jobs. Not a single job has actually asked me to see my degree. In fact, I don't even work a 9 to 5 anymore. I own my own agency and work from home. So the tens of thousands of dollars that I owe my college means absolutely nothing because I'm not even using it. Absolutely terrible investment. Any amount of a high salary that a degree can promise you can be easily 10x'd by owning your own business. Stop wasting your life.
What did you graduate with? What was your degree?
Elementary education.
Why aren't you teaching?
I don't like school.
Why?
I don't think it's useful. I don't think it was necessary.
What, school?
The tactics, the classroom style.
Then why not try to get into like a charter or private school that might align with your teaching style and what you think a classroom should be? Not that I would want you to teach a kid, but okay.
I just don't like it.
Then why'd you get the degree?
To get a degree.
To get a degree? Why didn't you get more general degree, just like a business degree in marketing?
It was the fastest degree out of college.
That's all you cared about?
Well,
and now you're just being a nanny.
2.5 years trying to do nursing, and then it was like, I did not like that and was bad at it. So
Yeah,
I
no.
switched it
Even though
to elementary education just to get the degree, got the degree, and then attempted teaching a few times and did not like it. And nannying was like right up my alley. And I got to prepare for like what it's like to be a mom or attempt to be, like build those skills.
Well, if you ever want to do something different, I can gift you a course career certification to change your field, something like accounting, tech, whatever you want. I can gift that to you. If you can make it through it, anyone can make it through it. I don't know if you can. I know you guys can.
Challenge accepted. Yeah, I'd love that.
Oh, okay. Well, you just let us know then.
Now, I'd like you know now. Yeah.
Hey, I went to college, man. Yeah, I went to college. I got an accounting degree.
Depends on your major. Certain majors are more useful than others.
Nobody's ever asked me whether I graduated or not.
Well, when's the last time you applied for a job?
Well, more importantly, when's the last time I applied for some debt? $2 billion worth of debt. Nobody's ever asked me. No bank's ever asked me.
College degree has nothing to do with a loan.
But so what? Well, you just told me what? I don't need to get rich in America. I do not need a college degree. Some headline by Bloomberg or CNBC's feeding you some bullshit about, oh, you got to have a higher education. You know how long they've been feeding that bullshit to the black and brown community? Your only chance is a higher education. By the way, we'll give you the loan for free. You can pay us back one day when you get a job. Fucking talk about slavery. Modern day slavery. $1.6 trillion worth of debt, and I wasted 4 or 5 years of my life.
The reason that people don't think that a college degree is important anymore is because it's not. Modern college degrees are largely useless. They aren't job training. They're barely education, and they have no cohesive standard. That's the biggest thing. When someone says, oh, they have a college degree, I'm like, that means nothing. Why? Because the colleges, again, are so greedy. People laugh about bachelor's degrees from the University of Phoenix. How is that materially different from Yale? How is that materially different from UNC? How is that different from University of South Dakota?
The dumbest person you went to high school with just got their master's, and they're going to do absolutely nothing with it. What do I mean? Anyone who has gone through like an undergraduate or graduate level program in the last, 10 years knows that these programs are not a sprint of intellect. These are a marathon of endurance, right? Pretty much anyone is going to get through it if they're willing to dedicate enough time to it. If you have the time and the money, you're going to get the credential you're seeking. It's just going to happen. When education and higher education is ran more like a business than a pursuit of excellence, that is just the natural outcome. The paying customer gets what they paid for. Now, businesses and the savvy worker have observed this. The people who haven't are maybe the people who are less perceptive to these nuances, right? So the irony is that right now within these programs, what we're basically selecting for is people who could not find a job or in the free market could not find the pay that they felt that they were worth. Basically, it's the people that like didn't know what they were doing, and they just, like a chicken with their head cut off, were like, I'll get my master's. So now what we end up with is people who are kind of rapidly defending this credential, this institution, because in their mind, it is what says, no, I am smart, I am worth this. This is what I am worth. But the thing is, that's not how things work in the free market, right? The free market decides what you're worth based on your skills and your output, and not this like credential that you Quizleted. And the effect is you'll be scrolling through TikTok now and find someone who's like got their master's on a subject talking like they are the authority on it. But they're talking with like some like 19-year-old E2 high school dropout in the army who's like kind of running in circles around them on the subject after having like gone on a YouTube Wikipedia deep dive because they're actually passionate about it, and they didn't do it just because they wanted like the credential because they didn't know what they were doing and they thought they were going to like make more money this way. So what I suspect will happen is the value of these degrees will continue to fall because as more and more people who aren't actually super qualified to speak on a certain subject have a master's in that subject, there's just going to be no point in pursuing it because it doesn't actually designate that you know any more or less. And people are going to need to test you with other metrics in any case. And the really savvy student will probably realize that the bachelor's isn't even totally a great ROI at this point. I think we're going to be in a post-higher education world within 10 years. That's my prediction. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me why in the comments.
You know what's becoming very common in America lately? We are talking people graduating from college and then quietly asking themselves, wait, was this even worth it? Not because education is bad, but because a lot of Americans expected a degree to automatically lead to stability. And for many, that's not what happened. And honestly, that conversation is getting louder everywhere. Because for a long time in America, the formula felt very simple. You go to college, get your degree, get a good job, build a stable life. Easy. That idea was built into American culture for decades. Parents pushed it. Schools encouraged it. Society treated it almost like the safest path possible. But now, a growing number of Americans feel like the relationship between degrees and opportunity has changed dramatically. So guys, let's subscribe and continue watching what's actually happening, and then I'll be back with more commentary. Full credit to the original creators of these videos. Thank you.
I think college is a scam.
Let's hear more. Come on, elaborate.
I know that's a hot take. I'm a college graduate. I think right now everybody should just find something that they're really good at. Everybody goes to college now. There's nothing crazy about it. Like before, that's what set you apart, and now I feel like it's just the standard. So
Interesting. So it's like not even a competitive edge anymore because everyone's doing it.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
Do you think that people were learning anything there? Like, how would you learn today if you don't go to school?
So like I said, I graduated from Temple University, and I make a joke that I majored in ChatGPT. Especially with the use of AI, I feel like there's no need for it. Like my fiance is in the trades, so he went a different route. He's making so much more.
What type of, we've interviewed some really fascinating people who spoke about trade school. Like, can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, so he was in trade school for 2 years, and he does welding and metal fabrications. And right out of school, he's 22 and he's making six figures.
What's the process like for trade school? Like how much time effort is it cost wise? Like
a lot cheaper. I think his tuition was $20,000 for 1 year, maybe 2 years. I'm not sure, but a lot cheaper than mine. And it was 2 years, took classes, and I think you get an apprenticeship after that, or maybe you don't have to if you go to trade school. You'd have to ask him, but I know he's happy. And
that's fascinating. We've been out here trying to get feedback from the masses, and trade school sounds like an amazing route. One last question for you. It sounds like you recently graduated if you were using ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. I didn't have GPT when I went to school 10 years ago. Like, how are kids actually using it? Like, how is it affecting the classroom right now?
It is literally ruining everyone's life. It's ruining everyone's brain. Like, it's so bad. And I'm guilty too. I use it all the time. Like, even at work, like just sending an email, I'm using ChatGPT. Like, it is like, there's no boundaries. It's so easily accessible, and everyone's using it for everything.
How do you pass tests though? Because you don't have a computer in front of you, right?
I feel like, do people even do pen and paper tests anymore?
I don't even know.
Maybe in high school, not in college. Everyone's online.
Okay. Any final words for the youth?
I think find something you're really good at, find something you're really passionate about, hone in on that skill, and then just work really, really, really hard. Don't be lazy. Don't use ChatGPT.
What are the 3 worst college degrees that you can possibly get?
Oh man,
as it pertains to making money?
It's usually the low income, sometimes first generation Americans that fall into the traps of these because they're sold the lie. They have the thought that, well, if I just go to college, everything's going to be fine. And some of these make less than minimum wage. It's terrible. Early childhood education, we need educators. It just does not pay well. And it's sociology, it's psychology, it's anything in the fine arts, all the beautiful stuff, music and acting. Criminology is terrible too. And this is sort of a surprise too, but a bachelor's in physics isn't going to get you very far. And so part of these are like, if you use psychology as an example, as a launching point to go get a doctorate, that's very different. But most people don't. Most people just stop with a bachelor's degree in psychology. And as a psychologist myself, it's a horrific idea. Here's my best advice. College's business decision, go to the Occupational Outlook Handbook, Department of Labor. It's online, it's free. Look into the jobs first, start there. Like, what is it? What job do you want? Look at what they pay. Because when you'll see, like, for example, early childhood education, very low on the list, you're making $30,000, $40,000 a year. You can't pay off your student loans with that.
What would you say are the 5 most worthless college degrees?
Certainly, like psychology is a classic one. History, the arts thrive. I went to school for music composition. I was making money off of it because I had a business brain. But Gen Z, with the rise of AI right now, they're entering one of the worst job markets we've had in a long time. I want to see people getting into those degrees that are more AI resistant. Nursing is incredible. We got to get dudes in nursing. I don't think people are going to want a nurse robot. Even if it is better, in the end, I think you still want that human touch in that field. Banking, finance, yeah, you're going to have AI integrated, but there's such a heavy regulatory environment that it might be more resistant to AI soon. And then women into the trades would be awesome as well. We need more of that, and we need more men in social work. It's not gay to be a nurse. There's nothing wrong with being gay, Jack. Okay?
Maybe it's just because I live in DC, but growing up, and especially now that I'm the grown-up myself, having heard people always speak on and make jokes about useless degrees, and then they would name something, at least in my mind, so general and needed, like communications and history and languages and gender studies. Boo! How else do you think we have news outlets, or women's health researchers, or military linguists and translators, or museum curators, or ambassadors? You're choosing political science. Political science is useless. I live in the middle of politic town?
People that are studying school right now for what, engineering? I met a kid, he was sitting next to me, and he's like, yeah, I got a 4.2 GPA in high school, like super proud of his degree, like high scores. He's like, I'm about to go to one of these private universities and study engineering. And like, by the time you get done engineering, you get all your degrees, you're set, it's 8 years from now. Will artificial intelligence replace your ability to be an engineer in 8 years? And he got mad because I presented a plausible scenario as to why his career path was maybe not the best one.
Not to beat a dead horse, because I did just make a video reply to this that was silly and cheeky, but like, this is why we have a literacy crisis. This notion that a degree in the humanities is useless is literally what has led to the decline of literacy, because we have told people, at least in the United States, that a degree in STEM is more valuable, and now people can't read anymore. This is such a problem in the United States that it's part of why I went to the UK for grad school. I was looking at grad programs knowing that I was specifically interested in English literature in a very specific time frame, and every master's program in the United States that I could find was just like general English literature masters. It didn't start getting specific until the PhD. And so I would have had to been researching stuff from like the 1500s all the way to modern time, and I knew I wasn't interested in that. But when I was looking at UK schools, I was able to find a more specific regimen. And that's not me saying that the UK is some weird like utopia for the humanities, but I do think that they take it a little more seriously than we do. And you can tell because America's literacy rate is really, really low. I don't even know if this person's American, but the sentiment is very much like, this is why we can't read.
Conservatives will really say with their whole chest that college is a scam and it shouldn't exist because people should just go to trade school to make themselves valuable in society. What about doctors or astronauts or veterinarians, engineers, mechanics? What about those people? You want a doctor that's never been to school? You want a pipe fitter operating on your heart? All right.
The perfect example of the most useless degree that you can have in America is probably marketing. First of all, because the traditional marketing is basically dying. Having a billboard is literally more of an ego thing. The only TV ads that actually are worth it, I think, is the things like a bloody Super Bowl and shit. But for the rest, it's all digital. Like even in automotive, when I was working in automotive a couple of years ago, it was all digital. Because the new buyers are the younger generation and they're looking at digital. What does that mean? In the digital world, in the digital ads, between laws that keep on changing, think about the whole TikTok thing that is happening now, and the change of humanity all the time that is much quicker than ever before, you need to readjust every single bloody week. And if you don't, you become obsolete. What does this mean? By the time that you have a marketing degree and it took you 4 years to have it, everything that you learn is cacca, pupù, schifido lacti regularis. Utter crap. And you just wasted more than $100,000 to get that. So the only reason why you went to college is just to have fun. Because a marketing degree is probably worse than the toilet paper. I don't know about you, if I were to hire somebody in marketing, especially digital, I'd rather have somebody with 4 years of experience creating content, having a data set of what works and what didn't work, and having somebody that went to college for 4 years. Because one person actually learned about what is happening right now, how it changed, sees a trend. That person is reading books that were written a couple of years ago. It's the difference between a peasant and a bloody genius.
So honestly, architecture school can cost up to 6 figures just to get through. We've had all this conversation about architecture not being a profession and categorized as a profession when it comes to lending. But that's it. It's still a profession. And honestly, you can still go and get a degree in architecture at a state school for X amount of dollars. You can get a bachelor's of architecture, not have to go get a master's. All of those things are doable to still become an architect. And what I would love to see is the further progression of the trade value, basically working in the profession for 7 years versus going to school for 5, then working for 2 to actually get your ability to sit for a stamp. Some states already have that option, and that needs to be furthered. Honestly, you can go out and work in the profession and learn just as much as you would in 5 years of school.
60% of people that go to college and get a degree don't even use it for the job they end up working as like a career. So you spend over $80,000 in over 2 to 4 years or more of your life on something that's useless. They got other people doing your job and they didn't even go to college. They just might have had some experience in the field.
Welcome back. So guys, I honestly think one of the biggest reasons people feel this way is student debt, because it's one thing to study for 4 years and it's another thing to leave school owing tens of thousands of dollars while struggling financially afterward. And that emotional disconnect hits people very hard, especially when graduates look around and realize rent is high, jobs are competitive, salaries don't stretch far, and actually some careers don't even require degrees anymore. So people start questioning the entire value equation. A lot of Americans didn't just go to college for knowledge. They went because they believed it guaranteed security, not luxury, not luxury, just stability. The idea was if I work hard academically, life should become more manageable. But very many graduates today still feel financially stressed even after doing everything right. And psychologically, that creates frustration. The internet is also changing things because now people constantly see examples of success happening outside traditional education paths. You see people making money through online businesses, freelancing, content creation, trades, entrepreneurship, tech. And for younger generations especially, this actually changes how they think about education completely, because they are seeing people who are succeeding without the old formula. You are also seeing a major shift towards skilled trades again. Electricians, plumbers, technicians, welders. For years, many people looked down on trade careers compared to degrees. But right now, a lot of Americans are realizing some skilled trades offer strong income. They offer lower debts, job stability, practical skills, and that's reshaping how younger people think about career paths entirely. And honestly, I don't even think most people believe education itself is useless. I think what they are reacting to is the pressure and expectations attached to it. Because many people feel they were told college is the only path to success. And reality turned out more complicated than that. So now people are reevaluating everything. And actually, not all degrees lead to the same outcome. Some careers still strongly require high education. You know, we are talking medicine, engineering, law, accounting, but other fields have become much more flexible. So young Americans are becoming more strategic now. Instead of asking, should I go to college? They're asking, will this degree actually lead somewhere financially? And honestly, that's a very different mindset from previous generations. But at the end of the day, I don't think this conversation is really about people becoming anti-education. I think it's about people wanting honesty. People want to know what's worth the debt, what leads to stability, and what kind of future they are actually investing in, because life has become very expensive enough that people are analyzing every major decision much more carefully right now. So guys, if you've watched this far, I really want to hear your perspective. Do you think college degrees still hold the same value they used to? Or do you think America and the world in general, we are entering a completely different era when it comes to education and careers? Just drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get the discussion moving. And guys, if you enjoy conversations like this, breaking down major shifts happening in modern life in real time beyond the headlines, make sure you subscribe because there's a lot more coming and you don't want to miss what's next. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next video.